Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Richard W. Schmidt, registered dietitian and author of You Cannot Outrun That Brownie. Today's video is about baked goods. This is video number 3. Why are we talking about baked goods? Because this book is about weight loss and we know that we love baked goods. Case in point, let's go to a bakery, see what's there. Everything looks good, everything smells good, everything tastes good. Probably going to nibble on some of those baked goods on your way home. It's kind of hard not to. So, baked goods. We know they're a carbohydrate, and they fall under the unhealthy carbohydrates, and we have the healthy carbohydrates. We're not going to spend too much time talking about them. Fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains. Let's get back to the unhealthy sources. Highly processed foods. So what are they? They're the Danish, they're the cookies, they're the cake, they're the pastry, they're the donut, and there's the brownie. Brownie, about 115 calories per ounce. So a 6-ounce brownie is about 700 calories. That's a huge number. So the focus of this video is to listen, laugh, and learn. So I want you to leave here today learning a few things. The first is the following. 1 cup of flour, 400 calories. Doesn't sound too bad. Next up, sugar. 800 calories, double that of flour. Lastly, oil. 2,000 calories per cup. Huge number. Not that every recipe would have a cup of oil in it, but those are the key ingredients. There are other ingredients. Yes, an egg, that's good for you, 90 calories per ounce. And then there are nuts, oftentimes in baked goods. And they're about 600, 800 calories per cup, depending upon how finely chopped they are. So today you're going to learn something that in my book, I no longer refer to baked goods as baked goods. I refer to them as baked bads. Why? Why are they bad? Well, we know they increase your weight. 2, we know they're usually higher in saturated fat or fat, which can increase your cholesterol level. And lastly is that of salt. So let's go back to that bakery. Go back to that bakery and buy a loaf of unsalted bread, if they have it. You're going to go home, take that loaf of bread, share it with your family. Everybody have a slice. And in unison, you're probably going to all be spitting out the bread, because it tastes so terrible. The only way you could salvage that bread is to use salted butter to finish it up. Yeah, so salt is in a lot of highly processed baked bads. So yeah, we're calling them baked bads moving forth, and that's what I refer to them again in my book. So let's talk about how can we relate that to your weight, because this is about you, it's about your weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, I want you to take your weight and multiply it by 10. No matter what your weight is, multiply it by 10. It's a quick way to see what your daily basal metabolic rate is. Now that brownie, we talked about that brownie being almost 700 calories. But let's talk about where are you going to fall when it comes to consumption of baked goods as it relates to your weight. Remember, your weight times 10. So bread on the far left is 75 calories per ounce. On the far right, you have butter at 200 calories per ounce. This is another way to look at calories in baked bads. And that butter at 200 is pure fat. So we're not going to have any foods higher than that. Most baked bads will fall between 125 and 150 calories per ounce. So look at the serving size. 125 times 4 is 500 calories. Big number. If it were the 150 category, it would be 600 calories. The information is on the labels, but not in that bakery. And there's a reason for that. You'll learn about that in my book. So those numbers are high. So put that in perspective. You need to learn those numbers. What are the strategies with baked bads? The obvious is not to have them as often. Cut the portion size down. If you're doing your own baking, you can cut back some of the sugar, right? There are tricks around cutting the calories out of baked bads. There's numerous recipes online. You could find those recipes and utilize them, but they're not free. You have to build them into your daily caloric allotment. And that's why I talked in the previous video about LSD, long, steady distance, okay, not the drug, about exercise and having an exercise prescription. It gives you some leverage to have some of these foods, because why not? They're good. Although they're bad, it's hard not to have some from time to time, but you do need to have strategies around that. One of the best strategies is what? Not to bring them into the house. Because if you bring them into the house, you're likely to eat them. And what's really bad about baked bads, you buy one of those cakes, it could be sitting on your counter for weeks and it doesn't spoil. There are so many preservatives in that cake that is calling your name every single time you walk by, and eventually all gone. So yeah, it's difficult. So I'm hoping that today you've learned something about baked goods, that you're going to now discuss them with your friends as baked bads and why that is. But you can have your cake and eat it too. You really can. But it is hard work. It's a conscious effort to really be aware of those calories, because calories are the calories. We can't make them down to that of bread. Baked bads will be in that number of that 125 to 150 per ounce. Remember those ingredients. It hits home, and hopefully that'll encourage you to make some positive changes. So please hit my subscribe button. Please go to my website and take a look at the previous videos that are there, as well as other information such as the table of contents to my book, about the author, introduction, etc. So until then, don't run out that brownie. Don't try to outrun him or her, because you cannot do that. Okay? Take care now. Bye-bye.